Enhancing depositors' protection and financial system stability. Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation increases maximum deposit insurance coverage levels. Ogun State Justice Mosumola Dikbeolu grants pardon to 49 inmates. And Nigeria seeks collaboration with the United States on intelligence sharing. Hello and welcome to the news desk at 3 on NTA News 24. We are reaching you live from Abuja. I am Dennis Adegunloye. To enhance depositors' protection and stability of the financial system, the Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation, NDIC, has increased the maximum deposit insurance coverage levels for licensed deposit-taking institutions. The managing director of the corporation, Bello Hassan, made this known at a briefing in Abuja. Musa Abubakar reports.
Protecting depositors and contributing to financial system stability is the major objective for the Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation, NDIC. It is this core mandate that informed the move to increase the maximum deposit insurance coverage levels from 500,000 to 5 million naira for deposit money banks, to 2 million naira for microfinance banks, from 500,000 to 2 million naira for primary mortgage banks and payment service banks, as well as 5 million naira for subscribers of mobile money operators. The move, the MD says, will provide full coverage of more than 99% of the total depositors compared with the current cover.
Isolated cases of failure, I can assure you that with the current funding we have, we are in a better position to meet those obligations. And beyond that,
to the basis. Now we have the national chairman of that initiative, who is the first lady as expected, the vice chairman, the wife of the vice president as expected. Now all the state governors, the governor's wives for each state will be coordinating at the state level. They would also have local government coordinators who will be reaching out to the grassroots.
Wiyemi Aribo, DG Women Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, described the initiative as laudable and suggested other ways the program can be scaled up and made more efficient, including partnership with relevant agencies, provision of communal lands to women in the grassroots to cultivate, and training in technology for women entrepreneurs.
Probably started her business out of passion, right? Which is where a lot of female entrepreneurs are. You start a business from something that you do at home, from a skill that you've picked up, not necessarily that you understand the business side of things. So where capacity building comes in is where, that's the intersection with economic empowerment. How do you, teach these women to use the skills that they have to actually become economically empowered, to begin to make money for not just themselves, but for their communities, for themselves, for their families. So I think for me, just hearing that there's a capacity building part of it, and we do know that there's a huge digital divide for women, especially in Nigeria. Not a lot of women are online. I would take there were a lot of reports from the COVID-19 that affected women. So women entrepreneurs were the ones that were adversely affected the most, because not a lot of them had their businesses online. So when everything is shut down, you can't go to your store, there's nowhere for you to sell.
The way you handle issues, the way you relate with people, allows you to run the office effectively. Like he has mentioned, people, volunteer to come to us, you understand, to support us based on what we have done. The records are there. It is glaring for people to see. And that is why we are receiving support from right, left, and center.
Nigerians were also advised to cooperate with government of the day towards realizing its goals of improving lives and ensuring national development. In Abuja, Ekemini Williams, NTA News.
Minister of Works David Umahi has condemned the reckless attitude of drivers whose actions pose a threat to the lives of other road users. He made the observation when he visited the site of the Eleme tanker explosion in Rivers State. Marianne Vincent Oko has details.
There was an explosion, and a devastation occurred on this road. Lives were lost, properties were lost. It was quite a very unfortunate incident.
This necessitated the visit of the Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, to the petrochemical junction of the East-West Road, where the fire incident occurred. Although the area has been cleared of the wreckage from the devastating petrol tanker explosion, its impact has left unpleasant pills in the mouths of families of those who lost their lives, as well as those who lost their vehicles and personal belongings. The Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, who condoled with victims, said the ministry has been working hard to ensure the completion of reconstruction of the East-West Road, which has suffered neglect over the years. He notes that due to the strategic nature of the road, quality is of the essence.
Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, when he came on board, he saw how terrible this road was, and he directed that work should be started, not as usual, but that the road should be redesigned. The 15-kilometer road dualized, 6 lanes, is about the heaviest trafficked road in the country. And so, because the soil is bad, we are digging about 1 meter. We are filling with lumps about ½ a meter. We're filling with sharp sand about ½ a meter. We are filling with stone base, 8 inches. We are putting 4 inches, another stone base mixed with 5% cement. And then we are now putting, 8 inches reinforced concrete pavement on top of it. The idea of Mr. President is that this should last a minimum of 100 years.
He condemned the reckless attitude of the drivers responsible for the explosion, noting that the road safety should now engage in checking the mental health of drivers, and commended the quality of work being done on the road.
Whether they are delaying or not delaying has nothing to do with the accident. It has nothing to do with the accident. I will asking them to open most sections of construction. It's in line with the policy of Mr. President that contractors will no longer stay beyond 2 years in any road project.
The minister also visited other construction sites, including the Enugu-Port Harcourt dualization project. In Port Harcourt, Marian Vincent Oko, NTA News.
Let's go to Ogun State, where in a bid to mitigate the challenges posed by congestion over correctional facilities, the Chief Judge of the state, Justice Mosumola Dikbeolu, has granted pardon to 49 inmates in Ilaro, Oba and Ibara correctional centers. Leka Ogbonde reports that the freed inmates were advised to turn over a new leaf and be better citizens.
The prison visit and jail delivery exercise is in line with efforts to decongest correctional facilities across the state in order to mitigate epidemic among the inmates. The Chief Judge, Justice Mosumola Dikbeolu, after looking into cases of different inmates based on recommendations from the Committee on Public Prosecution, granted freedom to 15 of the inmates at Ibara Correctional Center. The Chief Judge had earlier visited the Ilaro and Oba Correctional Centers, where she granted amnesty to 3 and 31 inmates respectively, and charged the Committee on Public Prosecution to look into the issue of one inmate, Sheyi Adebayo, who needs medical attention, having suffered from depression, and urged government to build more structures and make necessary provisions for the inmates to live in good health while serving their jail time.
I'm actually pleading that the correctional centers should be expanded. The correctional centers are highly congested. They live under very deplorable conditions. They are cramped in the rooms, and it's not good for their health.
Appreciating the CJ and her team, the Deputy Controller of Corrections, Ayo Okpadeji, encouraged parents to be alive to their responsibilities to reduce crime in the society.
We parents, we have a lot to do, because all the crime that have been committed this time around are from underage.
In Abeokuta, Lekon Agbonde, NTA News.
The Minister of State for Defense, Bello Mohammed, has advocated improved intelligence sharing between Nigeria and the United States to enhance the fight against banditry and terrorism in Nigeria. This was the focus of the engagement between the Minister and the Assistant Secretary for Defense for African Affairs at the U.S. Department of Defense, Jennifer Zakariski, and her team on a working visit to the ship house in Abuja. The minister notes that coordinated early warnings to citizens in crisis-hit countries can be shared with Nigeria to facilitate proactive combat operations. Meanwhile, Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja has restated the commitment of the Nigerian Army to tackle security challenges in the country through renewed efforts. He was speaking during a visit to the 23 Brigade of the Nigerian Army, Yola. Simon Asher reports.
The visit of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, to the 23 Brigade of the Nigerian Army, Yola, is to interact with officers and soldiers of the brigade, so as to identify some of the challenges of the brigade with a view to address them. He used the opportunity to reiterate the commitment of the Nigerian Army to protect the territorial integrity of the country through renewed effort to tackle some of the security challenges in the country.
We are reviewing our strategy, and that is why currently in the Northeast we are conducting the Operation Desert Sanity 3, Lake Sanity 2, and Mountain Sanity 2. Some phases of this operation are being conducted on a multinational level with our partners on the platform of the Multinational Joint Task Force. I'm talking about Cameroon, Chad, and troops from Nigeria. The whole essence of this is to improve the stability across the country.
The Chief of Army Staff had earlier visited the 23 Brigade Medical Center and Army Children's School, promising necessary intervention on the facilities. In Yola, Simon Asher, NTA News.
You're watching the News Desk at 3 on NTA News24. More reports after this break. Stay with us.
You educate a girl child, by extension, you are educating the world.
If that man was actually given 10, 15 years, I don't think he will be coming back again to come rape the same child again.
If you choose a criminal as your role model, there is every possibility that you will find yourself in jail.
30 Minutes is a current affairs program that offers our viewers in-depth analyses on national and international issues through expository interviews and investigative reportage. Watch 30 Minutes on NTA News24 Thursday 6:30 p.m. with repeat episodes Fridays and Saturdays 6:30 a.m.
Welcome to 30 Minutes on NTA News24. The clock is ticking.
Thanks for staying with us. The Arawa New Frontiers has lauded the collaboration between Northern governors and the United States Institutes of Peace in their continued efforts to tackle security challenges in the region. The organization says the governor's decision to leverage the expertise of the global institutes in finding lasting solutions to security challenges bedeviling the Northwest region was apt and commendable. Arawa New Frontiers condemned statements attributed to former governor of Jigawa State, Sule Lamido, over the new collaboration, where he was quoted to have said that attention would have been shifted to the agriculture sector while undermining national security.
The United States has some of the best security measures across the world and has a long history of helping other nations tackling insecurity effectively, with contributing in both intellectual strategies and weapon acquisitions. Sharing experience and ideas on a global scale was crucial in today's interconnected world.
The organization wants critics to be objective and always pay attention to facts before making any statements, and lauded the continued peace-building efforts and economic rejuvenation of the region through the digital approach by the northern governors. As the countdown to the 25 years of unbroken democracy in Nigeria begins, the National Democracy Stakeholders Group says there is need to celebrate and appreciate President Bola Tinubu for sustaining the country on the path of peace. This was at a media briefing in Abuja as the group prepares for Democracy Day and the first anniversary of the present administration. Timothy Yusuf reports.
25 years of unbroken democracy with 7 consecutive general elections held so far is worth celebrating as the leadership of the National Democracy Stakeholders Group gears up towards celebrating the 1-year anniversary of President Tinubu in office. It will begin with symbolic solidarity work concurrently across the 36 states and the FCT on May 29, 2024.
The Abuja leg of the work will be led by Asiwaju himself, His Excellency President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, accompanied by the Vice President Kashim Shettima, with strong support by esteemed dignitaries.
With elections as the bedrock of every democracy, the National Democracy Stakeholders Group believes that Nigeria has fared well with significant improvement in every election.
The imperfections in those elections become the bedrock of more discovery for reforms.
The group pledged commitment to nurturing a vibrant and inclusive democracy that empowers all Nigerians to participate fully in the nation's political development processes. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
In other news, the need to understand the challenges women face and appreciate their uniqueness is said to be not only a move in the right direction, but also an investment in their progress and inclusion in decision-making. This was stressed at a professional platform for the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations in Abuja. Haman Jabani reports.
With the theme Women in Leadership, Challenges and Prospects, the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations is turning its focus at achieving gender equality and women's well-being in all aspects of life. Women's active involvement in politics is said to remain a mirage due to the reluctant assumption that women's proper place is in the kitchen, even though women are saddled with challenges which include gender-based violence, discrimination at workplace, and exclusion in decision-making. Speakers say increasing women's participation in governance is essential to achieve gender parity, while increasing women's leadership slot can lead to the attainment of all-round sustainable development.
That for you to bring this subject, it means you are an advocate of gender equality. And gender equality does not mean the same treatment. Gender equality does not mean we are equal, or we are the same. But when you are talking of gender, we want to begin the chapter by saying who is in the gender.
The question is, can a woman in leadership cope, balance the roles, the role expectations, and succeed without losing herself in the process? My answer is an unequivocal yes, that we can.
The NIPR says more should be done, pledged to protect women's rights and advance gender equality in political sphere, and the Institute will continue to champion the cause of women in Nigeria.
It's important that we don't isolate women, and I want to disagree here. For me, it's very important that we don't isolate women as a seasonal celebrities, that once in a year we have to come and celebrate women. I disagree. Women must be celebrated every day.
In our own special way, as a profession that recognizes women, we have decided that today we should honor our women and a way of saying thank you, women, for all that you do for the development of society.
The meeting also received reports of various committees and also celebrated new fellows and members. Hamad Jabani, NTA News.
Let's now get some sports news.
Cyril Dessus is in contention for Rangers Player of the Month award for April. Dessus is among the 5 players nominated for the individual accolade. The quartet of Mohamed Diomande, James Tavernier, Jack Butland and Todd Cantwell are the other players up for the award. The 29-year-old registered 3 goals and 1 assist in 5 outings for Rangers during the month. The forward netted the winning goal in Philippe Clement's side 2-1 win at St Mirren last weekend.